Paymon who?
Mata Heyday.
Paymon Latahede. Who is he?
Never paid taxes in 30 years. Fought the U.S. tax court and won.
See, I believe our rights come from God, not from government. The IRS is panicking because an increasing number of American people have awakened and are not filing 1040 income tax, slavery confession forms, or paying income tax in record numbers. I'm Paymon Motahede, the president of Freedom Law School at freedomlawschool.org. Let's go to this very important topic that affects you, your life, and your family. Number one, you need to know this. IRS uses psychology to deceive you to believe you are weak and that they are strong. This is all a Wizard of Oz show that the corrupt major media has produced for the system to keep you as a slave, to make you believe you are weak, just like Dorothy and her friends in Wizard of Oz. And how have they accomplished that in more detail? Well, very simply, okay, they have brainwashed the American people with the control of the media, charismatic preachers. Also, the tax practitioner community have been deceived. The accountants, enrolled agents, CPA, tax attorneys, bookkeepers, that, hey, you better file 1040 income tax, slavery confession form, otherwise you'll be in trouble. They push your fear button, stress button. They tell you to pay your taxes, all kind of psychological games. Well, here's the truth that they don't want you to know. The number of Americans who do not file those 1040 income tax, slavery confession forms is overwhelming. It's about 80 million people based upon the best estimates of the IRS itself. This is a letter, September 24th, 1998. And in this letter that you see was written to some guy in Oregon. Okay? What does it say? Well, what it says is quite shocking to the average person because it's so hard to believe that that could be the case. They're saying that based upon the 1996 tax filing program of the IRS, they estimate there are approximately 63 million Americans who have not filed a tax return and initially would appear to have a legal requirement to file a 10 for income tax confession slavery forms. Okay? This information estimate is based on data available to the IRS on their computers. Of course, there's not 63 million people in prison or 63 million people whose bank account and paychecks are stolen by the IRS, right? They just cannot handle everybody out there. There's way too many of us and not enough of them. So now it was 63 million back in 96, 30 years ago. The number right now got to be at least 80, if not 90 million people who don't file those 10 for income tax confession forms anymore openly, okay? You got to know this. This report came out in May 2020, okay? On the right, top right, high-income non-filers owing billions of dollars are not being worked by the Internal Revenue Service. Yep. In that report, it says that the IRS basically refuses to go after even extremely rich non-filers. This report, which is linked below right here, I have an exact page and a document all there, basically says in part that the U.S. Treasury auditors gave the IRS a list of 100 richest income tax non-filers who each would owe the IRS about $100 million for years 2014, 15, 16 combined, and recommended to the IRS to go after these people for taxes, maybe put them in jail, some of them, right? Get taxes out of them, penalty and interest. And guess what? You would think the IRS would say, oh my gosh, we are so incompetent. How can we let these big fish get away? They don't even file 1040 confession forms. They don't pay income tax. Oh my gosh. Yes, bosses. Yes. We're going to go get our act together and come after these guys, collect the easy $10 billion for the U.S. government, right? That's what you would do if it was your job and he didn't do it right. But guess what? The IRS is so broken, disorganized, lazy, and irresponsible that the IRS utterly refused to commit to going after these extremely rich, high-income non-filers. That's in 2020. This report came out. This is a 6-year-old report. So what happened in 2015, IRS stopped going after non-filers. Yeah, that's right. They left non-filers alone. So because they said we need to handle people that need to make payment plans to the IRS. That's how bad IRS's situation was. As a result, so here we go. Let me get more from this report, okay? See, here it is. This is the IRS's lingo, the delinquency notices we have maybe for non-filers. Letters to non-filers were not issued for tax year 2015 because IRS paused the program in 2015 to realign resources to address challenges in the automated collection function system. This is the one answering phone calls of people who owe the IRS money and are calling to make a payment plan. That's what they're really saying. The report has this in more detail there for you, okay? What else does the report says, okay? IRS in the past focused on tax compliance of high-income individuals because their non-compliance, that means them not being slaves, right? Not filing 1040 confession slavery forms, not paying income tax, right? Okay? Can have a significant corrosive effect on tax administration. What they mean by that corrosive effect, that means people are going to say, hey, these guys not paying. Why should I pay? Right? That's a good point. Why should any of you pay when there's no law requiring the people of the 50 states to file a federal income tax to begin with? Okay? So, and they say that intentional non-filing of tax returns by those with significant financial resources and sophistication is a brazen form of non-compliance. You better bet you it is. Yeah, that's right. The founding fathers were brazen too. And look where they got us. They had the most glorious freedom revolution in the history of mankind. And preserving your God-given rights that were given away by our ignorance of the law and the Constitution, how our public servants are working. Yes. We're not complying because we don't have to. We're voluntarily complying to be a slave. We don't have to be a slave to begin with. So again, in these reports, they kept saying, according to IRS procedures, high-income non-filer cases present a high compliance risk. Therefore, these should be typically selected for review and issued in notice. I mean, some kind of a letter. Hey, slave. Be a slave, we're gonna get you. Be afraid, we're gonna get you with the IRS, okay? And that has worked in the past. Let me put a cartoon. Can we put the Harper cartoon up for them now, okay? I'm gonna put you guys a cartoon from The Bug's Life. This cartoon that shows us grasshoppers are the IRS, deep state, the corrupt system, and with the people are the ants. Little ants they're talking about. That they suck our wealth by deceiving us that we have to be slaves of these big ants that appear. So they're bigger than us, but there's so much less of them and so much more of us. So let's play this short clip because that's give you the concept of what I'm trying to share you about them versus us, that we outnumber them immensely. We just got to wake up, stop being slaves, have you be more prosperous, and America be free.
You're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Yeah, you ants to them. If you ever figure out that there's about 80 million Americans who don't file 10 for income tax confession forms, and too few of them, and we don't want to pay the Epstein gang billionaires any more money to enslave and destroy us, get all these wars that we don't need, okay? Instead of focusing on America, reducing our taxes, letting us keep more of our money that it's ours to begin with, right? If you figure that out, there goes the deep state. They're gone, and you will be free. You've got to recognize this, that you put the rope on your neck whenever you sign a 10 for income tax slavery confession form and give that rope to the IRS to pull down, ka-ching, and hang you. This is not just a cartoon. This is the reality. You got to stop filing income tax forms, the 1040 forms. Why? When you were deceived by your accountant, attorney to sign the IRS Form 1040 income tax slavery confession trap form, you put the IRS noose around your neck. How? Well, when you sign and file a 1040 income tax slave confession trap form, you state under oath that you owe the IRS money. That's right. You tell them you owe the money. You owe them nothing at all. You owe them zero legally. Zero. Until you file that 1040 income tax confession form on your oath, you declare you owe the IRS money. I'm not kidding. This is a fact. I'll show you in a minute. This is how you give the IRS the power to audit you without tax. 1040 tax form, there's nothing to audit. Empty your bank accounts. Steal your crypto. Steal your property and even put you in prison. This all happens because you signed that 1040 income tax slavery confession form. There it is. There it is. Look at that. Did your accountant tell you when it tells you sign here? Yeah. There's a big sign here. Does he tell you what this small print next to it says? Under penalties of perjury, you sign this, that it's all true, correct, and complete. What does that mean? This is a document that some accountant, bookkeeper, CPA, tax attorney prepares. Says, I'm the authority on the law. I know tax law. I know the internal revenue code. This is the Bible of the IRS. You hire me, TurboTax, HR Block. I know the IRS, the internal revenue code. Yeah. All this 10,000 pages of gobbledygook, tiny font, tissue thin gobbledygook. But don't worry. I know it all. You can trust me. I have a degree from accounting school, CPA, or even tax attorney. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you impressed yet? Okay? But they don't know none of that. It's all pretend game. Did they ever tell you a CPA, tax attorney, turbo, tax, or HR block? Did they ever tell you what that signature means under penalty perjury? The form that's filled out by the accountant guy, but you sign. You go to prison for the form that he files. He should go to prison. He's the one that filled it out, the numbers. But you go to prison under penalty of perjury, which means throw me in prison if everything on this form is not true, correct, and complete. Yep. And on top of that, you also claim that you owe the IRS money on line 37. This is the form. Look at it. This is the amount you owe, the form says. And here it says, this is the amount that you owe. Here it is, fill in the blank. And you signed it under penalties of perjury that you owe the money. Yep. So this is how they deceived us to become slaves through ignorance. And that ignorance, now you're afraid. Through fear, you allow them to rob you and make you a slave. So all that can stop if you recognize the game they did on you, okay? You understand this, okay? I have on my website, freedomlawschool.org, this page called Progression of the IRS Letters, okay? This shows you what the IRS have to come after you on this form if you don't fill out a 1040 income tax confession form. If you don't confess to the IRS money, guess what? They have to actually come after you. Yes, you do not owe the IRS anything automatically. It doesn't matter that your employer sent a W-2 form to the IRS or somebody sent a 1099 form to the IRS about what they paid you. That doesn't matter. That does not make you owe the IRS even 1 cent. The IRS has to issue you, by law, an official letter called a notice of deficiency, which is on this form on the top center, okay? This is a notice of deficiency right here in the center. We're going to highlight this, guys, okay? So this is a notice of deficiency, okay? And then all these procedures after that. See, before that, they, on the left side, they do all this stuff on the left to scare you to file a tax return. These scare letters they send out to you, okay? But you shortcut everything when you go to collection. If you file a 1040 form, you go right here to collection. Right here. This is collection due process hearing. Straight. But as a non-filer, you go back to step 4, step 5, all these other steps IRS must go through if you exercise your right. You can go to tax court and challenge the IRS in tax court and even in a federal court of appeal if you don't simply rat on yourself. Don't put a rope on yourself. Sign a 1040 income tax confession form, 1040 form under oath, and handing it to the IRS. Just stop doing that, and you start your journey to freedom, because there's 80 million non-filers to begin with. So knowing that, guess what? The IRS issues every year approximately 170 million notices or letters. Think about it. 170 million notices. These are forms. These are not letters that somebody sat down and crafted about you. There's nobody out there watching people that are getting 170 million letters say, oh, Charlie, I'm looking out for you, Charlie. You better file and pay income tax. David, you better file and pay income tax. Steve, you better file and pay income tax. Maria, you better file and pay income tax. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. No, no one's watching you. It's just a dumb letter to scare you to be a slave. That's part of the deception the IRS uses. On this form on the top left, these green letters, request for tax returns, IRS sending out increasing amount of these 10 for income tax beg letters. They beg you, please send tax letters. These are phishing letters to get you to put the rope around your neck. 2/3 of Americans, folks, 2 out of 3 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Probably you. You're one paycheck away or two from not being able to pay your rent, going to debt, not be able to pay for a car repair out of your cash savings. You have to go to debt with credit cards. So this is the problem that becomes much worse in our phony money system owned by the privately owned Federal Reserve banking system, private banks that make money in America out there by fraud. Yeah, that's the root cause of the problem. Bottom line is that you cannot afford to be a slave anymore. And there's way too many Americans that IRS has to come after. So they don't come after non-filers because guess what? They don't have enough people to come after even the filers. That's right. So they send out these dumb computer-generated letters, 170 million of them, okay? And then you think someone's watching you. There's nobody watching you at all, okay? So IRS is sending out these letters called, we haven't received your 25 income tax return. These requests for tax returns. Please send out a tax return. File a tax return. We're sending a letter about filing a tax return, reminding you to file a tax return, because they know they need to deceive you to put the rope around your neck by signing a 10 for income tax confession form under oath. And IRS is waking up to the fact that you, the American people, are wholesale, are stopping being afraid of the IRS, not signing those 10 for income tax confession forms. In 2015, over 10 years ago, they stopped. But because Freedom Law School has been telling you, the American people, hey, the IRS is not coming after you if you're a non-filer. Don't file. Stop income tax withholding from your paycheck, which I'll show you for free right now in a minute. Okay? And don't file. They got scared. They're panicking. Now they're sending out letters, like in this case, for 2025, which the deadline for file for 10 for income tax confession form by extension is October 15th. This letter is dated August 10th. What? August 10th. That's 2 months plus before the October 15th deadline for people to file a 2025 income tax confession form. But the IRS is so desperate to get you to be a slave, they are sending these letters prematurely. You can be one of those guys that says, wait a minute, I'm a real estate investor, I'm a business owner, I got stocks, bonds, crypto, commodities, all kinds of stuff going on. My accounting work takes a lot of work. I filed for an extension for October 15th, and this is August, not October 15th. Why, IRS, are you telling me you haven't filed a tax return when there's over 2 months left to go before I'm possibly required to file a 10 for income tax slave reform? Because IRS is so desperate to get you now to be a slave back again. That's what they're doing now. And again, these letters are, look at them. They're sent typically from the IRS's Austin, Texas computer. That's right, Austin, Texas computer form. And it's a form that our IRS notice. Look at this, CP59SN. They keep adding numbers and changing numbers, different newfangled version of these. And these are all, as you see, there's no name on this letter, okay? There is no signature on this letter. This is a canned, computer-generated, one-page letter. That's it. That's it. And guess what? They expect many of you, because you see on top of this letter, this name, IRS. It's really slavery. And you see this vulture on top of the page, on the top left. That will scare you. I'm having a heart attack. IRS is after me. IRS came after me. I better follow those 10 for income tax slave reforms before they add more penalties and interest, before the IRS try to put me in prison. Nobody at the IRS was watching you. More Americans are discovering this, and so are you. So this shows panic by the IRS when it sent letters so prematurely. They've never done that. I mean, they usually wait a year or two after tax return supposedly is due, maybe 3, before they would send it out to you. But now they're sending out these letters indiscriminately. 2020, 18, 19, 21, 23, 24, 25. Just send them out. Send out scare letters. American people, are you scared? Here's more letters. More letters. 170 million of them, maybe. But guess what? The gig is up. American people are recognizing, right? There's a law passed by Congress. Epstein gang billionaires, pedophiles, who rape girls and children and far worse things, that Trump promised to release them. Congress passed the law, unanimous, except 1 vote, and President Trump signed on it. Half of that, those files, were not released. Half that was released had all these blackouts, okay? Not to protect the victim, protect their perpetrators in the files. And President Trump told Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene that Trump's friends will be hurt if the entire Epstein files were released. These people are the ones above the law. You, for a little marijuana and stick, you go to jail for years, right? Full of small technicality. They come after you. Spend all this money and time to come after you, the little American slave to think of you. But the billionaires of Epstein gang, they're above the law. You just work for them. Just shut up and be a slave sheep. That's how they think about you. Do you accept that? Do you accept being a sheep slave of the Epstein billionaires who obviously brazenly are above the law? Politicians, Congress members, billionaires, all people connected together, right? See? So people are no longer buying this baloney that, oh, we have an American government that works for American people. Apple pie and the flag. You know, they're not working for you and me anymore, and people are catching on. So what you need to do is to stop supporting these crooks. Go to our website, freedomlawschool.org, and go under right, on the top center right area, on the drop-down menu, free yourself from tax withholding. Click on that, free yourself from tax withholding, and you're going to get this page, okay? And in this page, I show you exactly and specifically step-by-step, legally stop withholding or stealing a federal income tax from your paycheck by your boss, your company. There's a video on the topic. I show it to you. Step-by-step instructions, sample forms, how to do it. If you have any questions not clear, you're welcome to call us at 813-444-4800. We're here to help you be free as American people take back our country and take your money back that belongs to you to begin with, right? So go again at freedomlawschool.org. You're going to see for yourself the law that based on the U.S. government's official legal websites, no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income or payroll taxes or corporate or estate taxes. It's all there, folks, okay? So it's all there. Start with our videos as you drive around town. Put your smartphone in your car. Let it play these videos. Listen while you watch the roads. And then when you get to work at lunch, watch it and listen to it. At dinner at home, again, watch it and listen to it. Read it in there. Oh, wow. Oh, I was lied to. I was deceived. But no more. I'm not stupid. I'm not a slave. I'm not a sheep. Once I see the truth for myself and verified, yeah, I'm going to be free. So you're going to go to freedomlawschool.org and watch more of the videos. And 99% of the time plus, you will be left alone by yourself if you stop filing and paying income taxes. That's right, 18 plus million non-filers out there. But if you want a 100% guarantee, a true guarantee, you can do that, but go to our website to step 6 or go down on 7 steps to be free. Step 6 is an optional plan available for people like you who have the mindset of America's founding fathers. These men put their lives, their fortune, their sacred honor on the line to provide the freedoms we still enjoy, most of it still today, substantially. All you gotta do is just join hands with them, okay? Come together instead of being alone, right? Come together. We're much more powerful this way. And we back each other up and put our funds to protect each other. One for all for one. And go ahead and drain this swamp because we support freedom, truth-telling media to wake up the American people more, to get people like Congressman Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene elected, who represent you, the American people, not the big banks, okay, corporation, all the moneyed interest out there. So you have options, and remember, tell someone else about Freedom Law School. Love and spread the truth, okay? Be a Paul Revere. Call us. We'll send you our freedom brochures, okay? That's right. These brochures we got, we send you free of charge. Call 813-444-4800. Restore Freedom and Fast Track Your Success. They're both in 10 pages show you why no law requires 99% of Americans to file and pay income tax. $50,000 reward if you can show me I'm wrong. And I'll pay you if you put your name and phone number and someone joins, okay? So it's all there for you, my friends, to bless yourself, family, friends, coworkers, your community. Folks, my vision is a world full of live and let live and love and let love. That's it. That's what I want. And I believe you want the same. You want nobody to oppress or force someone to do something they don't want to do. It's all should be voluntary based upon cooperation amongst people, not force. But I can help you be free without your participation. Without you choosing to be free and educating yourself, no matter what I say, it won't make a difference. You have to choose. Go to freedomlawschool.org as you drive around, listen to our videos at freedomlawschool.org, and then call us at 813-444-4800. Do what we can, have you be free. As Americans, we get together, have America become once again the most glorious, free country in the world, example to the entire world of what life could be like the founding fathers envisioned for you and me. Thank you for being here.